Telling time. Griot Circle of Maryland procession. Creak, crack, creak, creak. Griot Circle of Maryland. The world's in need of love. The world's in need of love. Well, oh, well, oh, well. It's storytelling time.
Is the mic on? Love and marriage goes together like a horse and carriage. Dad was told by mother, you can't have one without the other. Marriage is hard. Take it from me, I've been married for 48 beautiful years. Well, wait a minute. If you count the 5 terrible years I was married to my ex-husband, then I have been married for 53 years, so I know marriage is hard. But the lioness, oh, she was just finding it out. She had been married to the king of the jungle, the lion, for a long time. Now, Lioness was the baddest sister in the whole jungle. She was a fierce hunter. She didn't mind hunting for her cubs, keeping the den clean, making a good life for her family. Plus, she was bad. She was strong and powerful, but maintained her girlish figure. And as a plus, she owned her own fur coat, a beautiful golden brown. But that lion, he paid no attention to anything she did. He took everything she did for her family for granted. He was too busy being the king of the jungle. He would stop and look in the mirror and admire his gorgeous mane and try to decide whether he wanted to let it lock up or not. He would practice his growl. To growl or not to growl? Is that even a question? He was not romantic at all. He had lost all interest in romance and paid his wife no attention. And after all these years, Lioness had just gotten tired of it. So she wanted to do something. But she had been married for so long, ladies, we forget what it is to go out and date again. So she went to get some help. She decided she'd ask for help. From the owl? No, he's much too boring. Oh, from the monkey. She went to ask the monkey because the monkey is exciting. He's wily. He knows how to get in and out of trouble. Plus, he knows how to throw a good party. So she went to the monkey, and when Monkey heard about Lioness's problems, he was only too happy to help her out. He had been waiting for years to get back at that lion for relegating him and all of his families up into the trees after that whole signifying monkey debacle. But that's another story. So when he heard that Lioness needed some help, he said, girlfriend, what you got to do is you have to get back in the game. You have to get out there and date, and if the brother doesn't straighten up his act, leave him altogether. Lioness said, but date, I don't know how to get back out in the dating game. Monkey said, I got the hook up. He reached in his pocket and pulled out an iPhone 14, latest model with a good camera. He took a picture of the lioness and he downloaded it to a dating app. He put down there, fierce hunter, strong and powerful, loving and gentle, owns her own fur coat, and downloaded, and the hits just came in. First, he set up a date with the elephant in a gorgeous 5-star restaurant. Lioness showed up not only with her fur coat, but she had on a string of pearls just to set the outfit off. When the elephant came in, she was taken by his sheer size. And those big ears, she was kind of turned on. It reminded her of Obama. But it was the trunk. The trunk was a real turnoff because he kept trying to drink water out of the crystal goblets on the table and knocking the goblets over. And there was no love connection there. The lion got word that the lioness was dating again. And instead of getting angry, he just blew it off. With all of his pride, he couldn't imagine that she would find anybody quite as good as he is. But he thought he'd better keep an eye on things. The next date that the monkey set up for the lioness was with the antelope. Oh, he set up a beautiful picnic out of doors so the lion could see it all. And he set up a picnic. Lioness showed up and spread out a beautiful tablecloth on the picnic table. When that antelope showed up, Lioness was a little impressed. He came galloping in. Ooh, he was so smooth. His moves were so nice. And he had those horns that twisted. But as they sat across the picnic table looking at each other, old huntress instincts began to set in. And she looked at that antelope and she started to think about antelope steak, antelope chops, antelope smothered in gravy. And when the antelope took one look at her, licking her lips across that table, he got the idea. He took out. He was gone. She tried date after date. The date with the hyena was a fiasco. He took her to a comedy club, and all he did was laugh all night. The date with the giraffe, it proved out pretty good, except when he took her home, and when he stood up next to her, he was too tall to kiss her goodnight. So the lioness was getting brokenhearted. She thought she'd just have to go through life drudgery, married to that lion. And so she was getting ready to go back home, and Monkey was frantic. He wanted to do something to break this whole thing. He looked down at the foot of the tree, and there was the leopard. And it dawned on him, I should have stuck with the feline family in the first place. He looked down at that leopard. He said, hey, brother leopard, you sure are wearing those spots. Leopard said, they do look good, if I may say so myself. What do you want, Monkey? He said, leopard, have you ever considered dating Sister Lioness? Oh, the leopard said, yeah, she's a bad sister. I considered it, but she hooked up with the lion, and you know me, I ain't gonna step on no brother's toes, you know? He said, haven't you gotten the word? The lion and the lioness have gone their separate ways. Leopard said, well, set me up, my brother. And they set up a date out in the moonlight with the river and the moon coming down over the horizon. It was so romantic, and lioness took one look at leopard in those spots, and she was in love. Leopard likewise fell in love with the lioness. The two that night roamed the plains together. They hunted together, and when they met under the moonlight, they entwined their tails to form a heart. And they decided to stay together. Leopard said, my dear lioness, I got some family down in South Africa. You want to take a trip with me? She said, sure thing. And the two of them took off in the moonlight. The lion was on the hill. He saw his love go off into the moonlight with the leopard, and he called out, but she did not hear him. And he was so sad, he was broke down, and he began to cry. He had learned lessons, beautiful lessons, and that next morning he was sitting out in front of the den, sitting on a rock. My brother was broke down. He was broke up. He was broke up in any different direction. And an old lion walked by with a cane. He said, my brother, I hear about your sorrows. The lion said, yes, she's gone for good. The lioness is gone. I don't know what to do. And the old lion said, well, have you learned anything from this? He said, yes, if she just knows that I've learned how to be a better husband. And the old lion said, He said, and I've learned that you don't take your wife for granted. You have to appreciate the things that a wife does for you. And the old lion said, He said, and I've learned that I need to be romantic. If I love her, if I love my woman, I must tell her every day and do kind things to you. And the old lion said, then you have learned what the old lions talk about all the time. And if this is a lesson for you, for the lion, for all of you husbands out there, and for my ex-husband, you always learn more when you lose than when you win. You can't have some, you can't have none, you can't have one without the other.